Level 1. You wipe the blood from your split lip and smile back. You are not his brother. You are a federal agent buried so deep in the syndicate that sunlight is just a memory. It was never supposed to be like this. 3 years ago, you were a low-level desk jockey in Quantico. You had a predictable life. You had a 30-year mortgage on a suburban house. You had a quiet fiancé who liked to cook on Sundays. You also had a rare talent. You possessed a unique legal skill for forensic accounting. You could untangle offshore shell companies blindly. You tracked illicit money better than any supercomputer in the Bureau. But the regional cartel task force hit a massive dead end. They could not trace the cash flow of the biggest crime family on the East Coast. They needed a ghost to infiltrate the financial wing. They looked at your pristine record. They saw your empty social calendar. Your supervisor did not ask for volunteers. He pulled you into a soundproof room and told you. It was a threat dressed up as a promotion. Do the undercover stint, or your career is permanently over. You were forced into the dark. Now you are here. Your first real job is running a massive money laundering operation out of a decaying meatpacking plant in Brooklyn. The smell of raw beef and bleach makes you gag. You sit in a freezing back office. You set up a complex web of dummy corporations in Belize and Panama. You use heavily layered LLCs. You route the illicit cash through a series of high-yield commercial real estate investments. You speak fluently about burn rates. You handle the smurfing. You structure massive cash deposits meticulously to avoid federal currency transaction reports. You set up Hawala networks to move millions without a single wire transfer. The syndicate bosses are genuinely impressed. The money starts flowing like a river. It is not just Bureau operational funds anymore. Dirty cash is shoved into your coat pockets as a reward for your efficiency. You take it. You have to take it to keep the cover. You stash thick stacks of $100 bills in a black gym bag under your floorboards. You lie to your fiancé every single day. You say you are on an extended audit assignment in Chicago. You tell them the late-night burner phone calls are just time zone differences. You hide the horrifying reality behind a manufactured wall of corporate boredom. Level 2. You spend your days breathing the same air as violent killers. You ride in heavy armored SUVs with men who break kneecaps for sport. You sit next to an enforcer named Tommy. Tommy is a massive man with knuckles that look like crushed gravel. He smells like cheap cologne and gunpowder. He spends the entire ride showing you pictures of his golden retriever on his phone. He talks passionately about buying special orthopedic dog beds. He is diligently saving his cut of the current extortion job to pay for his little girl to have a specialized cochlear implant. He actually cries when he talks about her hearing his voice for the very first time. You feel a sickening surge of human empathy. You start to genuinely like him. You buy him a coffee at the drive-thru. You ask about the dog's diet. Then the brutal contrast hits you like a freight train. The SUV pulls up to a corner bodega. The owner missed his weekly protection payment. Tommy steps out of the vehicle. The loving father disappears instantly. He drags the old man out from behind the counter by his collar. He pulls a heavy tire iron from his jacket. He beats the man mercilessly. Blood splatters across the colorful lottery ticket display. The old man screams for mercy. His wife drops to her knees and begs. She is completely innocent. She is nothing but collateral damage in a spreadsheet you manage. You watch the entire scene from the passenger seat. You do not move a muscle. Move a. You do not shout for him to stop. You sit there perfectly still with your hands folded in your lap. You accept it. You have to maintain your cover at all costs. You coldly memorize the details of the assault for future federal indictments. You trade an innocent man's shattered skull for a potential conviction years down the line. Tommy gets back in the car. He casually wipes wet blood off his expensive watch. He immediately resumes talking about the orthopedic dog bed. You nod slowly and agree with him. Level 3. Your mind begins to warp under the immense pressure. The fragile line between your real name and your criminal alias blurs into nothing. You wake up violently in cold sweats. You are completely unsure which apartment you are in. You do not sleep anymore. You get maybe 2 hours of restless dreaming a night. You dream constantly of dead drops and concrete shoes. When you walk into a simple diner for breakfast, you immediately scan the exits. You calculate the exact blind spots of the ceiling security cameras. You mentally count the number of patrons who might be carrying concealed weapons. A waitress drops a ceramic plate. You instinctively reach for the shoulder holster you are not wearing. When your burner phone vibrates, you physically flinch. Every single ring could be the boss calling you in for a hit. Every text message could be the bureau pulling the plug on your life. Or worse, it could be a rival hit squad tracking your signal. Your personal life crumbles to ash. The fiancé leaves you. You missed 3 crucial anniversaries and her father's funeral. You cannot explain why you flinch violently when she gently touches your shoulder in the kitchen. You cannot explain the massive purple bruises on your ribs. You cannot explain the dead hollow look in your eyes. You stop answering her calls. It is infinitely safer for her to hate you. You isolate yourself in a barren safe house apartment. You drink cheap whiskey straight from the glass bottle. You sit in the dark and stare at the peeling wallpaper. You practice your street accent in the bathroom mirror for hours. You realize you have forgotten what your real voice sounds like. The tarnished silver badge locked inside your floor safe feels like an alien artifact from a dead civilization. Level 4. The creeping paranoia hardens into concrete reality. You are sitting in a tense sit-down with the family capos in a smoky back room. They bring in a new guy. He is 25 years old. He is starving for power. He knows cryptocurrency inside and out. He understands complex blockchain obfuscation. He knows how to use dark web tumblers to wash digital money untraceably. He is everything you were 3 years ago, but he is faster and completely ruthless. The boss affectionately pats the kid on the cheek. The boss then looks at you with cold, calculating reptile eyes. You realize the terrifying truth. You are entirely expendable. To the criminal mob, you are just an aging numbers guy who is getting too expensive to keep around. To the Federal Bureau, you are just a disposable human wiretap. If you get a bullet in the brain tonight, they will just hold a closed casket funeral. They will fold a flag and promote the next desk jockey. You beg your handler to pull you out. You meet him in a sterile underground parking garage at 3 in the morning. You tell him you are rapidly losing your mind. You tell him the capos are suspecting you. Your handler slowly shakes his head. He says you are far too close to the boss to quit now. He says they need 3 more months to solidify the RICO case. He flatly denies the extraction request. You are trapped in a nightmare. You cannot leave the mob because they will hunt you down and skin you alive. You cannot leave the Bureau because they will throw you in a maximum security federal cell for the horrific crimes you committed just to maintain your cover. You are caught in an inescapable vice. The younger guy smiles at you arrogantly across the card table. He is actively taking your place. He will eventually find the deliberate flaws in your ledgers. When he does, he will tell the boss everything. You are living on borrowed time. Level 5. You finally realize you are no longer a law enforcement officer. You are just a seasoned criminal who occasionally reports back to the government. There is no grand justice in the world. There is only the massive grinding machinery of power. It grinds human bones into fine dust just to keep the gears turning smoothly. You are nothing but temporary grease for those wheels. You will eventually die in the dark. The worst part is that no one will ever know your real name. This story is fiction, but undercover agents deep in the Mafia are real. Drop a comment and subscribe.